Hey, welcome back to another Red Dirt Cryptid investigation. This time we are going to be out at Skiatook Lake in the back portions of it, searching for the elusive big man, Sasquatch. Trying to catch up with the guys, so I kicked it into gear. This thing will scoot when you want it to. I'm sure it uses up the battery too. I had to stop, had them kept going. My brother was kind enough to remind me that that's what David Pilates calls the point of separation. But apparently I fared the situation well, and I'm catching back up. There's our wind we were bragging about not having. Apparently we were out of the wind. It's Oklahoma. What do you expect? So my opinion, for whatever it's worth, there are advantages of doing this the way we're doing it. Number one, if we'd shut up and quit talking, me in particular, we would literally be making no noise going up the creek. So there's a lot of tactical advantages here. All right, here we are at the area where the broken trees begin. You can see that's 9 foot in the air. Here's another one. There's multiples over there. Here's some. I mean, as you can see, let me get over here. It's woolly. That's not a beaver there, boys. That's a good old-fashioned push me over. And the guys are heading over here to this low water spot to look for tracks. And this is, again, the point of separation where the fat guy gets kidnapped later. Well, we found this place by aerial photo. We thought it would be a good place to look for tracks. Let's see. We're in the middle of nowhere. If I find any tracks, I'll show you. It's not as easy as it looks. Disembarking. Should I keep recording just in case they go in? I don't know. Sometimes it could be funny watching, the fails video portion of the Red Dirt Cryptid investigations. I was joking, of course, but later this would come true. Did you hear something?
Yeah, that same clicking noise I heard before.
Sounds like something's moving over there. Sounds like something's moving down there. Once. You couldn't hardly hear it. Definitely nothing to get too crazy about, but
You don't always hear it.
very soon after that, we made it to our designated camping area and we began a search for a proper campsite. It was then that we ran across an unusual piece of scat. Could have possibly been a hog, maybe a squatch.
Deer turd right here.
Yeah,
That's a big mother.
that's a big turd.
Another one was.
That's as big around as a silver dollar.
Look, you could make some peyote or something.
Some peyote cactus.
Is this what they?
No, I think
don't
those actually are edible.
Well, I know that this part's edible.
Kind of hard to tell what's in.
You know what?
Well, we found a good spot and we began to set up camp. And here you have the mysterious Mr. X sweeping a spot for the fire. It's no wonder we never have any Sasquatch come in. They're too scared. Jeez Louise. You can hear that, right? Let's check it out. After that, we hit the bush and went out on a hike in search of a certain area that we'd located via aerial photography or satellite. It appeared to be a cave with a spring coming out of it. I think we're coming up to a fence, boys. Yeah. Well, I was right. There's a cliff face here. And, oh, there's a deer stand there. Somebody's probably in it.
Like it's pretty well groomed.
Well, whatever it is right over there. And that's private property. But over here, you can actually see where the cliff face starts, and it runs that way over here. But if it's private property, we're not going there. It looks like somebody's either been burning something or they got some kind of bait station out there. That's interesting. Well, I wanted to run something by you guys. So when I was talking to Mr. Damien, the guy that I went out to Eastern Oklahoma and I interviewed him, you know, I already told you that I believe that, you know, he saw something, he had an encounter. And he seemed to be very honest. But the one thing that he did say, he mentioned a couple of things that actually kind of troubled me, I guess you could say. And it's not that, you know, like one thing that he said, he mentioned a couple of times that they appeared to be communicating telepathically. And if I remember right, I believe that he believed that they were sending him a message telepathically as well. And I, you know, you hear people talk about that, and that seems to be, you know, one of the theories on how they avoid people, and, you know, sometimes they can even instill fear. I just don't know. I mean, it seems, you know, you guys have heard me in my theory on it's a proven fact that there are people, humans out there now, who possess some type of telepathic ability. And so I guess what I'm saying is I don't believe that it is ridiculous to say that, you know, an animal other than our species could possess that. And of course you guys have all heard me talk about the Tower of Babylon or Tower of Babel, and, you know, how God supposedly mixed up our languages, but I don't know.
You know, I remember back in the 70s, maybe 80s, the Russians were really big on telepathic.
Yeah, well, we were too. You know, what was it called? Something visualization, or they would basically, I don't know, distance. They would go and like be at the Kremlin or whatever, and whatnot. I don't know.
I remember the Yuri mind control thing.
Oh, that video game.
The cronies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's two ways of looking at that. You know, maybe your average person can't do it. Maybe a lot of people would just assume it's not true. But the fact is, the government probably spent millions, if not billions of dollars developing it. I mean, that whole, what was that spoof movie, Men Who Stare at Ghosts? Did you guys watch that ignorant movie?
No. I know.
Oh, gosh. Well, in the movie's defense, I do not like George Clooney. Ever since he insulted Charlton Heston, I pretty much hated him ever since. But I thought the movie just kind of sucked.
I mean, how do you have a dog in that fight? It's two movie actors who are pissing on each other, you know?
Well, he was making fun of Charlton Heston having Alzheimer's, which I thought was below the belt and shitty. Yeah, but anyway, but long story short, you know, it's not a secret that our government has done tons of research in the field. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that, you know, this is what's really going on here. And
telepathy.
yeah.
Well, How to Hunt says that when he goes out, you've heard it.
He uses it.
He goes out and he goes, I don't want to see you guys. Leave me alone. I'm not out here.
I'm
Because once he starts walking,
out here to have fun and hunt.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Well, and it kind of makes me wonder when we go out and we do this kind of research in the field, should we be sending them a message telepathically? You know, I know that it sounds far-fetched, but what would it really take on our part to try to send out a telepathic message to whatever was out there listening to our thoughts?
well, because I think no, just for the simple fact that you want these things don't want to be seen. So, and you're saying, "Hey, we want to see you." Like,
Well, apparently they come into other people's camps, you know, and
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know if they're having a seance, or anything.
well, and see, and you use that word, and that kind of, it's in the same ballpark, but it makes what we're doing sound
Yeah.
silly.
Well, I'm not trying to put a negative light on it. It's just that that's the script I can come up with. Right
Yeah, it does kind of sound like a seance, doesn't it?
now. Yeah.
I mean, I just don't know how to approach it. It's a tough subject to approach. It's not something that I think that your average Joe is ready to just jump on board and.
Well, when
And
we were walking out earlier, I had the apple in my hand, and I was thinking to myself, but, hey, I just got an apple. That's all we
Yeah.
got here. We just gotta give you an apple, you know. So
Yeah.
I see how you're thinking how easy that would be on our part to do something. You know?
Well, on the flip side of that coin too, I think a person, if you give that any merit at all, you need to probably be mindful of your thoughts. You know, if you're sitting here thinking, you know, oh man, I want to shoot a Sasquatch and hang its head on my wall, and I want to be famous, you know, to be the first guy to ever kill a Sasquatch. Well, at the same time, if that's your deep motive, well, they're probably going to pick that up. So I think we need to be mindful of our thoughts, you know. And I mean, I don't know. And this is all hypothetical conversation. I'm not trying to guilt trip you because, you know, I mean, let's face it. You know, what would I do if I got a picture or video of one? Well, it wouldn't do any good to put it on the internet.
If thoughts did absolutely nothing in this whole creation, well, you know, that would, first of all, all these maybe a name it and claim it, or
Is that your stomach?
a Jesus Christ Cosmic Life Coach.
Hold on a second. That's your stomach.
Oh, okay.
That's your stomach.
Dang
I
it.
did hear something behind us.
Well, I thought I heard something behind us too.
And if thoughts were nothing, and then also the Bible wouldn't say mind your thoughts, control, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
So your thoughts do have some kind of, they impact something somehow. So,
What you bind on earth, you bind in heaven. Yeah. I don't know though, but I guess what I'm saying is if we go out to a place that we believe is squatchy, and we do what we're supposed to do, and if we're wanting an encounter, you know, if we're wanting them to come up and make themselves known, then I think that needs to be in our thought process.
did he do that? Daryl, or what was his name?
Damien.
Damien.
And no, I don't think he did that. But I think he was just out there minding his own business, and they came up, and they were. He said she was gathering berries. But I don't know. I guess if we're serious about it, we might want to actually entertain the thought of having a group mindset on what we want to do. I know it sounds goofy, but
Or like an agreement.
My understanding is that he was not trying to telepathically communicate with them, and they weren't trying to do that, or this female was not trying to do that until they had locked eyes on each other, right?
Well, I don't know. That's getting into some pretty serious specifics.
So, I mean, I don't know.
What do you think?
I don't know.
You won't believe in telepathy?
I believe it. Yeah.
Well, everybody has the right to be, you know, skeptic. You know, and if you, I mean, at what limit? There's got to be a limit where you got to say, okay, this is getting a little hokey. You know. And I'm with you, and I don't want to be the guy that believes in every single thing that comes down the pipe. But then again, I don't want to be the guy that doesn't believe in something that's actually happening. You know, and history has been full of people that didn't believe the Earth was round, and people that, you know, there was people that once believed that the moon was made out of cheese. You know,
It's not?
not that I'm aware of.
Damn it.
I wish I could give you a straight answer, but I've never been there.
Well, you know, on that same line, you know, I think we talked about it a little bit on the drive over here, is that, you know, Uncle Sam's coming clean on this UFO deal.
Boy, yeah, that's
I
disturbing.
mean, and since the 40s, everything has been, nope, it don't exist, it's not real.
No habla de
It's all a
inglés.
big lie.
Yeah.
You know, these guys were mistaken. It was
Weather balloon, yeah, that's my favorite. Swamp gas.
And now they're coming out and saying, well, I mean, they're releasing video, and then they're saying that there are not of this Earth vehicles zooming around.
Yep. And that is an official government release.
Have you stirred that at all?
We probably need
Here, I'll
to.
lift the pot and you stir it.
Oh yeah.
It's just
It's
now
like
starting.
gotta be roaring.
Oh, it's.
It just now. I just checked it. And
I
it
can
wasn't
hear it
roaring.
roaring.
Yeah, I just started.
Yoo-hoo.
roaring.
Oh man.
Does it act like it needs more water? Or is it okay?
Is there any monkey heads in this one? Yeah. Snakes and monkey heads. What was that movie? Dr. Jones. Dr. Jones. You call him Dr. Jones, lady. Best movie ever.
I don't think it's sealed on.
Yeah, and you're going to want to keep the lid on it, or else it'll boil down. But anyway, the other thing that Damien said that bothered me was he said that it appeared that the female and the male both had some type of leg wrapping or trapping, some kind of footwear below the ankles. And
I
he's
thought it was just moss.
well, he said it looked like it was placed there intentionally.
Yeah.
Like just mud buildup.
Well, and it could have been. And he said that the males, the stuff that was on the male's leg looked brown. But I mean, let's face it. When your average Joe sees a Sasquatch, they're not looking at their feet. You know?
Well, maybe they ran through some barbed wire or something. And
Well, and that's what I actually called him back, and I wanted to talk to him. I kept wondering, well, maybe it was some type of makeshift bandage or something. Whoa, easy. But I just don't. That whole thing about them wearing footwear just baffled me.
yeah.
It just. I actually messaged two guys that I know that have been in this Bigfoot world for a long time, and I asked them if they had ever heard of that before, and both of them said no.
I think steaming out like a pressure cooker.
But I've
Boy,
also
it's
heard,
boiling.
you know, on the Chronicles, and somewhere else
anybody
about
got a
the guy,
timer going?
the girl the woman in white who wears shoes.
Smells good
Like that.
though,
You
on
heard
my
that?
end here.
Is this a Sasquatch thing or some
Well,
kind of
they
ghost
they
thing?
say the woman in white, and then they'll see a squatch or something. I think me and you listened to that one.
Well, unless the Squatch is wearing the shoes, then I don't know. That was a weird. For me, that was just a weird statement.
That thing is putting a lot of steam with it.
Oh, it's a humping it.
I got water dripping out of the lab.
Well, what are you gonna do? Turn the fire down? we could take it off and let it burn down a little bit and stick it back on.
Well, I don't know. Do we want? I mean, I thought we wanted it to boil.
It will. It'll still be boiling. We'll take it off.
Okay.
And then put it back on.
That's quite a fire, really. Ooh. Well, and to be truthful with you, the longer we stall on the eating dinner thing, the better off we're gonna be.
Why is that?
Because we're probably gonna stay up late tonight.
That's why I brought the world's most dangerous coffee with us.
The guitar.
God, I can't believe you gave me
Yeah,
that
tell
stuff.
that story.
Oh yeah. So this morning we get up, and Jeff's like, "Oh yeah, I got this Death Wish coffee," and I'm like, "Oh, that sounds cool." And he's like, "Here, have some." So he gives me this package, it's a pretty sizable package of Death Wish coffee. So I boil some water and I pour it's instant coffee. So I just pour the stuff in there, and I start drinking it, and Jeff says something about the coffee, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. He noticed that I had the whole empty package. He's like, well, dude, you were only supposed to put like a quarter of that in there. I was like, oh crap. Next thing you know, I'm like cutting firewood out here north of the camp.
We got shit to do.
We were like,
Come on, man, let's go.
yeah, we were like, well, we came up with a plan. Let's think about it. And Brian was like, I'm ready to cut wood.
I'm gonna get on this fire detail. Well, it wasn't the best tasting coffee in the world, but it was coffee.
It tastes
You know,
okay.
you spent 15 minutes tuning that thing.
Okay. I found it in the dumpster, so
No, you did not.
yeah, I did.
You did?
Yeah,
Yes, he
the
did.
bridge is broken. I put JB Weld on it. Fixed
Oh
it.
my gosh.
Put new strings on it.
You
Squatch-
just put the new sticker on
Squatch
there.
stickers.
He Squatch stickered up his
Looks like a
guitar.
charm.
You're supposed to be fixing it up.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, it sounds pretty damn good for a guitar you found in the dumpster.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, I think your pussy little chainsaw is a great addition to the thing.
Oh my gosh. For those of you who are watching this video, I bought a 20 volt DeWalt electric chainsaw, and that little sucker,
Cut wood yesterday, today.
yeah, on one 5 amp hour battery, this sucker's just a humping it. I mean, it's a trooper. It's a little pain in the butt, hauling it in and hauling it out, especially because we kind of came in on canoes and everything, but I'm glad we brought it. And something tells me if we ever go on the next camp out and I don't bring it, I'm getting my ass kicked.
Well, we were going on more than a 190er. It's a definite mess.
Oh my gosh.
I think I
And
want to
it's
get one.
quiet.
It is quiet, isn't it?
It is quiet.
I could hear it at my camp.
Yeah,
Could you?
but it's not like the 5-horse
The Briggs and Stratton.
Briggs and Stratton going,
Yeah.
Why doesn't Honda make a chainsaw?
Oh.
They're traditionally known for making quieter running engines, but
I always buy them off the Germans. I got 2 steel chainsaws. One of them's a 5-horse, and it's got a compression release on it that you got to push before you can start that son of a bitch. Because it's a 5-horse chainsaw.
That wasn't
Is it one of those like
dog.
the one in Farm and Ranch? One's the big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Uncle
it's-
George
no, there's-
had one of those.
There's the Rancher model, and this is the next deal up. I mean, it's like $1,000, my brother.
Yeah.
Oh
Uncle
my
George,
God.
Uncle George had one of them.
For $1,000,
And,
I better not have to.
We
buy
were
another
we
chainsaw
were
for the
cutting
rest of my
firewood
life.
one day, and we were trimming up. We were cutting through the woods, and we had just had some regular chainsaws, and then we come across this down cedar, and it was like it was thick, and it was it was hard wood, and it was red cedar, and he just walked back to the truck. And he come back with a hog leg of a chainsaw, boy, and he just laid that thing in half like it was nothing. But yeah, he has one of those things.
All right, well, let's talk about the game plan here. So after we eat, we are going to start the long fire. And once the long fire is going, and it's kind of getting down to it's a manageable thing. What do you think we ought to start with? Let's start with a bunch of tree knocks at first.
I wouldn't say a bunch.
Yeah, just one or two. And we just have to be real quiet and listen and wait for a reply.
Everybody facing cardinal direction. We got 4 of us here.
Well, and I should probably get my electronic headphones out. And then,
Well, I don't know. You hear lots of shit all of the stuff. Anyway, right?
well,
And you must have superb hearing. And I know mine's bad because a lot of
well,
times.
my wife says my hearing's
A
terrible.
lot of times you're like, you heard that, didn't you? What?
I cannot believe you wasn't hearing that shit. There was knocks coming from that other hill over there. It's literally like 400 yards that way. You guys, I swear.
No, too much turbine engine and artillery fire, guys.
Yeah. Does tend to do you no good. For those of you at home, make sure you wear hearing protection.
Yes.
So, anyway, if that don't work, we'll give that 20 minutes or so. And if that don't work, I say we do some homemade squalling.
Jimmy, sorry the spices don't. What's it taste like?
Bland.
What does it mean?
Everything.
Everything you got.
Did you put salt and pepper in it?
Bring some of that Old Bay.
So the question's been tabled. What are we going to do if we see a Sasquatch? If we're out in a group and we, all 4 of us, and I think that one of the things that Damien told me is that he wants to see a Sasquatch again, so that he basically knows it's confirmation. He wants to see it. So obviously,
Well, I thought he said he wanted to see one with other people as well.
well, and I kind of got that. I think that's a conclusion I drew.
Oh, okay.
But if you see, he wants confirmation,
Yeah.
and I think that if we see one by ourselves, no one else around, you're gonna have to question what you saw. You're gonna have to, being human and being skeptical. But what if we see it? I mean, what's gonna happen? I mean, my personal set of goals is I want to be able to see one, and I want to get a good look at one. I want to get a look that's so good that I can't question what I saw. That's my goal. Now, like we said, once you get that goal, once you hit that, why your goals are going to change, and you're going to have to reevaluate that goal and what you want to do next.
Get the heck out of
Yeah, for a lot of people, apparently, once they see one themselves, their goal becomes to prove it to the world. And I can already tell you right now, that's not a concern of mine. We started the group so that people can come together and share knowledge and about the stuff that's going on in our area and around our area. But as far as like proving it, no. Red Dirt Cryptid Investigation is not here to prove their existence to the world. It ain't like that. So is everybody here, are you doing this because you want to see one? That's your goal. Do you really want to see one? And would it change?
Well, I think I do want to see one,
But if you did see one, would you ever come back out with us again? That's the $20 question that nobody can answer until they've seen one.
Yeah.
Would you be able to sleep at night?
Well, okay, you're looking for the Holy Grail and you find one. Are you gonna go looking for another one? I see your point. I come a lot for the camaraderie and the camping and learning
And that's all good.
learning how to do all this stuff.
And I do. I enjoy hanging out with you guys, and it's fun. And what we've done,
quiet sometimes.
yeah. But what we've done this weekend is amazing. You know, we came in here and canoed back in 4.5 hours into no man's land. You know, borderline in the middle of winter. You know, this is way out of a lot of people's league. But
Almost December.
Well, turn your recorder off. I'll tell you a story.
There's a couple. No,
All
no,
right.
God, no. Just wait till later.
we got
It's
our.
still, check your phone. It's probably what, 8 o'clock.
I don't know. I'm videoing.
Uh,
Man, that's a pretty decent fire.
it's just barely even going on the other side. It's 8:30 right now. So, 8:29 on the dot. But it can get this middle going.
Well, it does. I mean, once we've stuck the grass in there, it took off. It looks like it's turning.
We'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see if it keeps going, but I think it's going to be awesome. This is awesome. I wish this side would get it.
You'll
Yeah,
be
we do
wanting to
kinda
cook
have-
some beetles on it.
We do kind of have some junk wood in there, but
A lot of it was pretty dry, dead standing wood. I did start throwing some green on there, but they were twig size. They were tiny.
The $20 question is where's it going to be 30 minutes from here?
congratulations. You've been wanting to do one of these sons of bitches for like 9 months. Yeah, I know.
You see this stuff on TV. Well, I guess.
You'll be so warm.
Oh yeah, just leave it on. We can always recharge it. All right, now once we start this, you can't be getting up and moving around and making any kind of noises because, you know, we're not only are we listening with our ears, but we're also listening with, you know, the phone here and we're recording. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my headphones. I'm gonna put these on. I'm gonna warn you, I hear everything when I get these on. Yeah, if you break wind, it'll sound ridiculously loud. Okay. So I told Jimmy, for those of you at home, my brother is camped about 50 yards to the west. So he's listening for our knocks, and once we start knocking, he's going to be listening from a different area too. So we're going to start out with some knocks, make some noise. You guys didn't hear that at all, did you? Over there. Tick, 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 tick. It's getting louder. Let's just drop that. That's a train. I can hear it too. I'm gonna do 2 knocks. remain seated. Yeah. Use the flare. I am not hearing any responses. I did hear a big stick snap on the other side of the creek to the east. But that could have been anything. Maybe see it. I'll look. I'll look behind you.
You know, it'd be cool if somebody could jimmy up that deer stand with that flare. Look around. But my name's not Jimmy.
You don't want to get in that deer stand. Is that trash bag still there? It's reflecting the heat of the fire. See something? Maybe something down on the ground. I'm gonna stay. Was it right over there? I see some black spots, but they could just be rocks that are warm. Well, we did not hear anything or have any activity. I know it didn't look like it in the video, but we actually waited for quite a while. Mr. Hatfield actually fell asleep in his chair. Yes, you did, Jeff. So we are going to go to bed. As always, I will remain aware of my surroundings. And, you know, maybe something will come in to visit. So, anyway, we will catch you in the morning. We are going to break camp tomorrow morning, fairly early, and we're going to try and make it out of here at a decent time. Go get us some of that Mexican food we love there in town. Anyway, I'll catch you tomorrow. And we wake up the next morning, no signs of Squatch activity, and it's raining. The next morning, it's not too bad.
What?
Coffee.
Is that good enough? Good under?
Yeah, look, I'm packing on there a little further.
Leftover stew from last night for breakfast. Mr. Hatfield, your apple is still over there hanging.
Yeah.
But there's a giant bite taken out of it.
It's probably.
It's like, when are these fools going to figure out that we're not hungry? Goodness. Well, I slept like a baby. And if it wasn't for the fact that it's going to sprinkle on us on the canoe ride out, this would have probably ended up being the perfect trip, but I don't know. We're going to be all right. That stew's gonna feel good in the belly.
Sunday morning, about 9 a.m., we managed to get a break in the rain, so we started breaking camp, made a little coffee, and we started packing our stuff to go home.
It's wonderful out here. Cool rock formations, little cliffs. It'd probably be pretty good for some light duty bouldering and rock climbing. You know, you probably have to top rope it. It's too short. Still nice though. It's actually raining on us right now. We're about halfway back to the vehicles. It is sprinkling. Rained on us pretty decent last night. It was good though. Rain's not a big deal.
It was at this point that a little bit of tragedy struck the group. We had Mr. X and Mr. Hatfield actually turn their canoe over and get dunked into the extremely cold water. Without missing a beat, we got them out of the water, got them stripped down. We built a fire to keep everybody warm. And we dried some of our clothes out, and we were on our way.
Well, we made it. All three vessels, although that one got dunked a little. Everybody got wet, but we are very ready to get these boats loaded up and to go eat and turn the heater on the truck on full blast. Jeez.
It was at that point that we were leaving, and we ran into a couple of law enforcement officers that will remain nameless. They asked us if we were fishing or hunting, and we told them no, we were squatching. And they told us, well, the squatches are on the other side of the lake. As serious as a heart attack, not missing a beat.